Yes, good evening, Rishi, Rohit, Nitika, Aditya. Good evening, beta, good evening. Welcome to the session on the abdominal organs. And today I will be discussing the anatomy of the stomach. So before starting, yeah, good evening, Rohit, Shiv, good evening, good evening. So just give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Start the video, audio, everything is fine. The audio, visuals, everything is clear so that I can start with the session. Yeah. I just want a thumbs up in the chat box so that I can start. So yes, Archana, okay. For Shantika, very good, beta. Very good. Yeah, very good. Sure. Let us start the anatomy of the stomach from the scratch, guys. From the scratch, everything I will discuss. AV is clear, sir. Okay, Shiv, very good. Angel, very good. So let us start from the scratch, beta. I will discuss each and everything that is required. Okay, that is required, beta. So, what are the topics that I will be discussing in the anatomy of the stomach? So, let us first try to highlight the areas that I'm going to like we are going to study today. Yes, the very first one, that is what is the site of the stomach. Okay, the capacity of the stomach, the length, the shape, okay, and what are the factors on which the shape of the stomach depends, right? We will be discussing the presenting parts or the external features of the stomach. We are going to discuss the relations of the stomach. Now, when I say relations, we are going to discuss the peritoneal relations. We are going to discuss the posterior relations. Okay, we are going to discuss the posterior relations as well. Right, we are going to discuss the posterior relations. Okay, so yes, arterial supply, venous drainage, lymphatic drainage, nerve supply. So everything we are going to discuss, yeah, one by one. So let us start with the stomach, guys. Let us start with the stomach. So just observing the diagram, guys, can you mark the location? Already I have discussed these planes, right? Can you tell me the name of this plane, guys? Yes. Can you tell me the name of this plane, beta? It is the mid clavicular plane, right? It is the mid clavicular plane, right? And this is the transpyloric plane. Okay, it is the transpyloric plane. So these planes, these are the two mid clavicular planes, right? These are the two, Jessica, good evening. These are the two mid clavicular planes, and we have already discussed this in detail. Now talking about the stomach, beta. So remember that stomach, it is the most dilated part of GIT. Okay, it is the most dilated part of GIT, gastrointestinal tract. Okay, it is the most dilated part, distensible part of GIT. Yeah, Sai Krishna, good evening. The second point that you have to remember, beta, it intervenes between. Now you already know it intervenes between the esophagus and the duodenum. It intervenes between the esophagus and the duodenum. It intervenes between the esophagus and the duodenum. You very well know we have the esophagus, right? So you already know that we have this esophagus, and the esophagus continues as the stomach, and after the stomach, okay, like below the stomach we have the duodenum. Okay, duodenum and the esophagus. So stomach is between the esophagus and the duodenum. Esophagus and the duodenum, right? So this is the basic thing that you already know, guys. This is the basic thing that is you guys already know, right? Apart from that, guys, you should remember now, just observing the diagram, beta, just observing this diagram, I want the answer in the chat box, beta. Just observing this diagram, can you tell me the regions in which the stomach is present? The two regions in which the stomach is present. When I say site, beta, I have already told you when I was discussing these planes. Okay, um, Yeah, the areas of the abdominal cavity. So I want to know in which region the stomach is present. Shai Sarke fun mode. Good evening, Jai Shri. Good evening. Yes, beta. Epigastric to hai. Very good. You can see the stomach in the epigastric region, right? You can also see the stomach, beta. Yeah, in the umbilical region as well. You can see the stomach in the umbilical region. Yes, very good, Kriti. You can see the stomach in the left hypochondric region. Left hypochondric region. Yes, Hajira, very good, very good. So, yes, majority like these are the three parts: the epigastric part, the umbilical region, and the left hypochondric region, right? So, this is the diagram which is showing this. So, remember that it lies obliquely. It lies obliquely in the left hypochondrium. It lies obliquely in the left hypochondrium. Epigastric. Yes, everyone is right. Epigastric. And yes, it is the umbilical region. Umbilical region. Right? Yes. So these are the three areas, okay? The left hypochondrium, epigastric, and the umbilical region. Okay, so this is the site of the stomach. Again, an important question. Okay, so dollar over here. Now, when we talk about the capacity of the stomach, beta, in newborns, now when I say in newborns, you should remember that the capacity of the stomach, it is between 30 to 50 ml. It is only 30 to 50 ml. Or specifically, if I talk about at birth it is the 30 ml capacity. But when we compare it with adults, okay, in adults, beta, okay, in adults, yes, Parmod Hazira, very good. In adults, beta, you should remember the stomach is having a capacity of 1500 to 2000 ml. Okay, 1.5 to 2 liters, right? And it can go beyond also. Okay, it can go beyond also. In adults, it is 1500 to 2000 ml, and approximately it is 1.5 to 2 liters, right? So at birth, what is the capacity of the stomach in adults, and in newborns, what is the range? These are three different questions that I have highlighted right now, right? Apart from that, yes, yes, everyone is right. Now, when we talk about the length, beta, it is approximately 10 inches. Okay, it is approximately 10 inches. I will write it with a different color. Yeah, the length, it is approximately 10 inches, right? So we have discussed about the site, capacity, and length. I hope this particular slide is clear to everyone. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat box. I hope this particular slide is clear to everyone. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Yeah. So that I can start with the shape of the stomach. So that I can start with the shape of the stomach. Yes, Garima, Nitika, Anushka, Aditya, Fun Mode, Angel, very good. Very good, Peter. Kriti, very good, Peter. Perfect, perfect. I want every one of you to remain in the session till the last because everything I will cover regarding the stomach, the arteries, veins, lymph nodes, the nerve supply, these are very, very important. Okay. And yes, Sushantika, very good, very good. Anakala, Divya, Krisma, very good, Peter. So now when we come to the shape, Peter, shape, or I can simply say that, yeah, hmm, clinically, stomach clinically stomach, it is basically of three types, more or less we can say four types also. Okay, now how? Let's see guys, one by one. So we'll draw a flow chart, and along with the flow chart I will try to explain this with the help of diagrams, right? So the very first one, beta, the very first one, it is, yeah, reverse L shaped, reverse L shaped. Now when I say L shaped beta, so you already know that. Now suppose this is the stomach, okay? This is the stomach, and stomach is somewhat like reverse L in nature. Okay, it is somewhat reverse L in nature. Okay, on barium meal swallow. Okay, on barium meal swallow, basically we can observe the esophagus, the stomach, and the duodenum part, and in that we can see the shape of the stomach. It is reverse L shaped like this. Okay, the second one, beta. The second one, it is typical J-shaped. It is typically J-shaped, and remember, in majority of the population, this is the most common shape, right? This is the most common. MC का मतलब most common है. Okay, it is the most common shape. To the students who don't know, it is the most common shape, right? So yes, yes, Tokir, it's right. It's the most common shape, and you should know that. Suppose this is the stomach. So you are very well aware that we'll discuss the parts of the stomach, no need to worry. So you can see that this is typically a J-shaped, perfect J-shaped, right? So yes, it is the most common shaped. Now coming on to the third type, beta. Coming on to the third type, that is the semilunar shape, as Tokir Khan has already told you. It is the semilunar shape. Okay, it is the semilunar shape, राइट इन सेमी लूनार शेप बेटा यू शुड नो सेमी लूनार का मतलब होता है बिल्कुल आधा चांद जो तुम्हें दिखाई देगा सो इट्स जस्ट लाइक दिस बेटा ओके सो इट इज like this right so it is आधा चांद जैसा so it is the semi lunar shaped now the fourth one okay the fourth one beta it is steer horn shaped. Now, when I say steer horn shaped beta, you have seen cows and buffaloes, right? You have seen cows and buffaloes. They both have their like they are having long horns with tapering ends, right? They are having long horns with tapering ends. The cows and buffaloes. So remember, in this type, the stomach is more horizontally placed. Okay, the stomach is more horizontally placed. The stomach is more horizontally placed, and it is somewhat like this, guys. It is somewhat like this. It is more horizontally placed, right? It is more horizontally placed, right? So yeah, and the steer horn shaped stomach, the population or the persons who are having the steer horn shaped stomach, they are more prone to suffer from duodenal ulcer, or I can say they are more risk at having duodenal ulcer. Similarly, if I just say about the semilunar shape beta, they are like more prone to no, they are more prone to have these gastric ulcers and all. So yes, I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes, just give me a chat thumbs up in the chat box. Yeah. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat box. And one more important point that I want to discuss in the shape part, beta. You should remember. Chalo, very good. Very good. Angel, yes. Fun mode, Hazira, Dimple, Garima, Yuva, Krisma, Pharma, Jessita, very good. Very good, beta. Dhanashri, very good. Satyashri, very good. Archana, very good. Very good, beta. Now, now, beta. Okay. Remember the shape of the stomach. Okay, the shape of the stomach depends on. Now, there are several factors on which the shape of the stomach depends on. The very first one that you have to remember the degree of distension beta. the degree of distension, right? The degree of distension. So remember, the empty stomach is more vertical. Okay, the empty stomach is more vertical than the distended stomach. Okay, so that is one of the reasons, right? The empty stomach is more vertical than the distended one. Okay. Secondly, we have the body built beta. The body built. The body built. Remember, it is more horizontal. It is the stomach is more horizontal. Okay. In short, obese individuals. Okay. It is more horizontal in short, obese individuals. Right. Apart from that, there are some other reasons, that is the position of the body. The position of the body. And okay, the stomach is more vertical in the standing position. Okay, it is more vertical in standing position. Okay, the stomach is more vertical in the standing position. And the last one that we have to remember, it is the phase of respiration. Phase of respiration. So remember, it is more vertical with inspiration. It is more vertical with inspiration. So the degree of distension, the body built, the position of the body, and the phase of the respiration are some of the factors, okay, which decides the shape of the stomach. I hope this is clear to everyone. I hope this is clear to everyone over here. So yes, just I want is one thumbs up from you people. Okay, just I want is one thumbs up from you people, right? Hmm. Sure, very good. Very good. Okay, we have Veer, Lima, Nitika, Divya, Shri, Dimple, Rem, Tokir, Kriti, Angel, Garima, Aditya, Funmode, Veer. Okay, perfect, perfect, guys. So yes, I hope this is clear to everyone. And one important point that is relevant for the exam as well. So you should remember the steer horn shaped. The steer horn shaped. It is. I just forgot to write. Already, I have told you that is. These stomachs are like more prone to duodenal, or they are having risk of having duodenal ulcers. Okay, they are more prone to duodenal ulcers. So this is one of the points that you can mention, that I'm highlighting with the dollar sign, right? So I hope this is clear. Chal, very good. Okay, आइए। तो अब हम लोगों ने क्या क्या डिस्कस कर लिया है, फटाफट से देख लेते हैं कि हम लोगों ने साइट डिस्कस कर ली है। ठीक है, वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस द साइट, द कैपेसिटी, द लेंथ, द शेप. Now coming on to the presenting parts. Now I will discuss the presenting parts of the stomach, or the external features of the stomach. Okay, the presenting parts of the stomach or the external features of the stomach. So again beta, the rule of two applies over here. So yes, before that, let us just try to highlight it through a basic flowchart that I will draw for you people. So yes, remember beta, we have two orifice. I will tell you what is meant by orifice, right? These are the openings beta. So you have to remember we have the two orifices or orifice. Basically, these are again cardiac. and we have the pyloric one, pyloric orifice. So we have cardiac orifice and pyloric orifice, right? We have two borders of the stomach. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me about the two borders of the stomach in the chat box? This is something that I believe everyone knows by birth. So we have the two borders of the stomach, and I personally believe that everyone knows this. So yes, it is. Huh. Um, okay. We have the lesser curvature or the right border. Okay, the lesser curvature or the right border. Yes, ठीक है ठीक है. Anterior posterior नहीं बेटा, right और left borders थे इसमें ना. So lesser curvature is towards the right side. So yeah, we have the right. Yeah, more precisely, I can say it is the right concave border, right? And we have the greater curvature. Don't worry, we will discuss this in detail. No need to worry. We have the greater curvature as well. We have the greater curvature as well. So we have two orifices, two borders, then we have two surfaces. We have two surfaces, and remember, the two surfaces are again, we have antero superior surface. It is a one word, so just write it. Antero superior surface. In some books it is written anterior surface also, so no need to worry. Yeah, we have the antero superior surface, and we have posterior surface. We have posterior surface. We will discuss each part in detail. No need to worry, guys. No need to worry, right? So we have the posterior surface, or I can simply write it as the posterior inferior surface, right? So yeah, to be more precise, it is the posterior inferior surface. It is the posterior inferior surface. Apart from that, कोई बात नहीं बेटा शाह, अभी गलती करोगे, the mistakes that you will do right now, it's okay. Exams में नहीं होना चाहिए. अभी तो करो और सीखो. It's your time right now. So yeah, you have to learn from your mistakes, right? So, and the third one, the fourth presenting parts are like the three parts of the stomach. The three parts of the stomach that you already know. We have the fundus part, we have the body part, and we have the pylorus part. Now, when I say pylorus or pyloric, pylorus का मतलब होता है gatekeeper. Pylorus means gatekeeper. Anyone can tell me in the chat box which sphincter will be present in the pylorus region? चलो एक बहुत easy question पूछ लिया है मैंने. So I want everyone to answer this question. So yes. After that, I'll just start with the cardiac and pyloric orifice one by one. Yes, it is the pyloric sphincter. Very good, Anushka. Very good, Shah SRK. Very good, Garima. Very good. It is the pyloric sphincter, right? Right, बेटा. तो चलो एक एक करके सारा डिस्कस करते हैं. एक एक करके we will discuss. Yes, everyone is right. Angel, Kriti, Anakala, Aditya, Sai Krishna, Anjana, Dimple, Hazira. Very good, बेटा. Now, the cardiac and the pyloric part, beta. Now, if okay, before coming to the diagram, let us draw our own diagram, guys. Let us draw our own diagram and just try to understand. Okay. So, for example, this is the stomach. Okay, suppose this is the stomach, and remember, beta, we have an angle which is made between the esophagus and the fundus part over here. It is known as the cardiac notch. It is known as the cardiac notch, right? Now, what is cardiac notch over here? It is separating the fundus of the stomach, okay, to the lower end of the esophagus, okay. And yes, so this is the cardiac end over here, beta, right? And there is an opening over here that is called as the cardiac orifice, okay. So this is called as the cardiac orifice. And from the cardiac notch, if I just try to draw a line on the greater curvature, you already know this is the greater curvature and this is the lesser curvature. From the cardiac notch, if I just try to draw a line on the greater curvature, this part it is the fundus. This part it is the fundus, right? This part it is the fundus. So yes, cardiac notch, it is separating the fundus, okay, of the stomach from the lower end of the esophagus, right? So yes, and one part which we have downwards, it is the, you already know, this is the pyloric part, right? The pyloric end, okay, the pyloric end, the pylorus part, okay. Now beta, now what I want to say, beta, you already know this. Okay, you already know, suppose this is the right side and this is the left side and this is the midline of the body. Now this is the midline of the body. So now tell me guys, okay, tell me guys, the which part, okay, the cardiac orifice and the pyloric orifice, which is towards the left and which is towards the right, which is towards the left and which is towards the right. I'm waiting for your answers in the chat box. Which is towards the left and which is towards the right, right? Hmm. चलो, हाँ, कार्डियक बेटा देखो, कार्डियक पार्ट इट इज टुवर्ड्स द लेफ्ट पार्ट, मिड लाइन से लेफ्ट की तरफ है, एंड द पाइलोरिक पार्ट इट इज टुवर्ड्स द, या, राइट, टुवर्ड्स द राइट, यस, towards the left, sorry, cardiac part it is towards the left and pyloric is towards the right. Very good, very good, everyone is right. Yes, Garima Shah, Dimple, Kriti, Sai Krishna, Harmish, Anushka, very good, Hazira, very good. चलिए, चलिए, now चलो फिर इसको ना थोड़ा सा लिख लेते हैं, थोड़ा सा लिख लेते हैं. I do have space over here, okay. So yes, let us just write it. So remember beta, cardiac orifice. Now the cardiac opening beta, basically it is the location. If we talk about the location part, it is 2.5 centimeter to left of the median plane. The first point that you have to remember, it is 2.5 centimeter to the left of the median plane. I hope everyone agrees with my statement. Yes. So it is 2.5 centimeter. So this distance, it is basically 2.5 centimeter. Another point that you have to remember over here, it is behind the left, it is behind the left seventh costal cartilage. Seventh costal cartilage. Beta, you already know ki how many costal cartilages are there? There are 12 pairs, right? But the last costal cartilage that is attached to the sternum directly, it is the seventh costal cartilage that you already know. The last costal cartilage that is attached to the sternum, it is the seventh costal cartilage. Now, if you go 2.5 centimeter towards the left side from that point, okay, from that point, this is where the cardiac end is present, okay, the cardiac end is present, and the opening, it is called as the cardiac orifice, and the opening, it is called as the cardiac orifice, right? And the opening, it is called as the cardiac orifice. So yes, so after that beta, you should remember one more point. Yes, it is very well said by the fun mode. It is opposite, it is opposite to T11 vertebra. It is opposite to T11 vertebra. Okay. One more landmark you can remember. It is 40 centimeter. It is 40 centimeter from the incisor teeth. Okay, it is 40 centimeter from the incisor teeth. Okay, and one more important thing that you have to remember, it is guarded by only physiological sphincter. It is guarded by only physiological sphincter. Now, can anyone tell me what is the significance of physiological sphincter? Anyone in the chat box can tell me what is the significance of the physiological sphincter? Yes, yes. हाँ, सबका आंसर सही था पहला वाला. हम्म. Beta, physiological sphincters are area of high pressure. Okay, these are areas of high pressure. Yes, Anushka, crack meat. Okay, it is the areas of high pressure. Okay, when I say anatomical sphincter, basically they are the areas of narrowing. And when I say physiological sphincter, they are areas of high pressure. Yes, it is the high pressure that prevents the reflux. Yes, avoid reflexes. Very good, beta. And approximately the lower end, it will have 8 to 25 mmHg of pressure, the lower esophageal sphincter. So that is why if there is a disturbance in the physiological sphincter, in the lower part of the esophagus, it can lead to the reflux of the food. That is something that will result in the gastroesophageal reflux disease, right? That will result in the gastroesophageal reflux disease. So yeah, the normal it is like 8 to 25 of Hg, and if it is less than 6 of Hg, it can result in that also. So I hope the cardiac orifice is clear to everyone. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat box, guys. The cardiac orifice is clear, I suppose. So yes, we have discussed the cardiac orifice. Yeah. Chal. Amish Angel, very good. Sai Krishna, Harshit, very good. Garima, very good. I will check the notes after the class. I want every one of you to know, send me the notes. Now, beta, you already know the cardiac notch that is shown, and from the cardiac notch, a line is drawn towards the greater curvature, and this is something which is called as the fundus of the stomach, right? And this is called as the fundus of the stomach, right? We have the lesser curvature, and yeah. Now, beta, coming on to this lesser curvature, beta, right? Yeah, we have okay, we have a structure that is called as the angular incisor, or yeah, incisura angularis. Okay, more precisely, it is called as incisura angularis, that is present on the lesser curvature. And yeah, from the angular or yeah, the incisura angularis, if a line is drawn towards the greater curvature, if hypothetical line is drawn towards the greater curvature. So beyond that part, you will get the pyloric part, right, Pita? So yes, the pyloric part. Okay, so we have the pyloric orifice, pyloric orifice. You already know it is thicker. It is thicker, more superficial, more superficial, and more movable than cardiac orifice. More movable than cardiac orifice. Okay. Now, beta, remember, if I just have to say it is situated 1.25 centimeter to the right of the median plane. वो 2.5 centimeter था the cardiac opening towards the left of the median plane, and pyloric orifice it is 1.25 centimeter to the right of the median plane. Okay, to the right of the median plane, right? Apart from that, it is situated at or just opposite to the lower border of L1 vertebra. L1 vertebra. And it is an area of true anatomical sphincter. Anatomical sphincter. Now, when I say anatomical sphincter, beta, it is the circular muscle layers which are present over here, right? So, if you can just see, these are the circular muscle layers which are present and which helps in the constriction, okay, which helps in the thickening. So, remember, beta, it is the, if I say anatomical sphincter, it is the thickening of circular muscle layer, circular muscle layer. Yes, it is the thickening of the circular muscle layer. And when I say anatomical sphincter, beta, if the muscle layer is present, it will help in the narrowing. It will help in the narrowing. Okay, it is an area of narrowing, right? So obviously, if circular muscles are present, they will it will constrict that part, and that is something which is referred to as the area of narrowing. Area of narrowing. I hope this is clear to everyone, beta. Both the orifice, the cardiac orifice and the pyloric orifice. Okay, both the openings are. I hope the क्लियर हो गया सब लोगों को जल्दी से एक थम्स अप दे दो चैट बॉक्स के अंदर कार्डियक एंड पाइलोरिक orifice is done so yes. Hmm. Sure. Very good. Azira, Garima, Dimple, Angel Matthews, Harshit, Krishna, very good. Very good. Fun mode, very good, beta. Crack, neat, very good. Kriti, very good, beta. Very good. Anushka, Shah, Anakala, very good. Now, beta, starting with the borders of the stomach. So, we have already finished the orifices, okay, the cardiac and the pyloric orifice done. Now, coming on to the borders of the stomach, that is the okay, so we have actually two borders of the stomach, right? So let us just try to discuss this. Hmm. Again, we'll draw flowchart. Again, I'm telling you guys to write the notes in the way I am writing. Flowcharts will help you to memorize more. Okay, right? So you already know we have the lesser curvature, the lesser curvature, or if you see this lesser curvature, beta, it is concave. बेटा ये एक cave बना रहा है ठीक है, it is forming a cave. That's why it is also called as the right concave quadrant. And ये right side पे बेटा ये right side हो गई and this is the left side. So you already know the lesser curvature is towards the right and it is concave. So I can simply say it is the right concave border. It is the right concave border, right? It is the right concave border. Apart from that, beta, you should remember what is attached on the lesser curvature. Okay, it gives an attachment to the lesser omentum. It gives an attachment to the lesser omentum. I hope this is clear to everyone. The lesser omentum I have already explained in detail. So yes, it, or I can simply say the attachment. The attachment, it is to the lesser omentum, right? And yes, its lowermost part of the lesser curvature presents a notch, and this notch it is called as the angular notch, beta. And this notch it is called as the angular notch. If you just want to see it over here, so you can see this angular notch in this picture as well. So this is the lesser curvature, beta, and the lesser curvature towards the end will present a notch over here. Notch दिखाई देगा, notch इस तरीके से होता है बेटा. So that is something which is called as the angular notch. That is something which is called as the angular notch, right? So remember the lowermost part, basically it presents a notch. It presents a notch, and that notch it is called as the angular notch. Angular notch that we have already discussed right now, right? That we have already discussed. Apart from that, if we come on to the greater curvature beta, if we come on to the greater curvature, now greater curvature, basically it is situated on the left side, and you already know it is convex. अभी convex हो गया ना, concave तो आगे वाला हो गया, और उल्टी वाली साइड क्या हो जाएगी, convex. So it is the left convex border. It is the left convex border. Okay. Now at the beginning it presents a notch, और यहाँ पे जो नोच प्रेजेंट होता है बेटा, इस नोच को मैंने अभी बताया था क्या बोलते हैं, cardiac notch. This notch, it is called as the cardiac notch. So in the beginning, it presents a notch, and that is called as the cardiac notch. That is called as the cardiac notch, right? And the greater curvature, the uppermost part, it constitutes the fundus. I have already told you the greater curvature, the uppermost part, basically it constitutes the fundus. It constitutes the fundus. Now, beta, I will be writing this. Okay, I will be writing the attachments on the next page. I will be writing the attachments on the next page. Now, we are discussing the greater curvature. We are discussing the greater curvature. And in the greater curvature, we have like three ligaments. Now, can anyone tell me the name of the ligaments? This is very, very important. And you already know this. कौन-कौन से ligaments present होते हैं बेटा? For example, this is, yeah. Now, suppose this is the stomach, right? This is the stomach. हाँ, चलो, very good. Greater momentum, gastrosphenic, gastrophrenic, very good, very good. Everyone is right. Everyone is right. So you already know from the fundus part. No, this is the fundus of the stomach, and from the fundus part, beta. If I just want to draw it from the fundus part, this ligament it is extending to the diaphragm. Diaphragm को phrenic बोलते हैं, और ये ligament it is connecting the stomach, the fundus of the stomach, to the diaphragm, right? So that is why it is called as the gastrophrenic ligament. Okay. So in three ligaments, the first one you should remember, it is the gastrophrenic ligament. Now when I say gastrophrenic beta, gastro का मतलब हो गया the fundus of the stomach, right? Gastro means the fundus of the stomach, or I can simply say it is extending from fundus, okay, to the diaphragm, to the diaphragm. To the diaphragm. Now, coming on to the spleen part, you already know better that we have a structure that is called as the spleen, right? We already have a structure that is called as the spleen. Now, this ligament, it is basically extending from the greater curvature to the spleen, right? So it is the ligament, okay, which is extending from the greater curvature to the spleen, and that is the gastrosplenic ligament. And that is the gastrosplenic ligament. I'm just drawing it roughly. Already you know it. So yes, this is connecting the spleen and the greater curvature, majority of the greater curvature, and this is something which is known as the, yeah, the second one. It is the gastrosplenic. Yeah, I'll just write it nicely. Yeah. So yes, it is the gastrosplenic ligament, and it is extending from the upper part, extending from the upper part of the greater curvature of the greater curvature to hilum of the spleen, to hilum of the spleen. And thirdly, the one which is left beta, it is the, yes, it is the greater omentum. Okay, okay. So it extends from the lower part. So remember, it extends from the lower part of the greater curvature. It extends from the lower part of the greater curvature to the posterior abdominal wall, right? So yes, greater omentum extends from the lower part of the greater curvature. The lower part of greater curvature. I hope this is clear to everyone. All the ligaments that I have drawn, beta. All the ligaments that I have drawn. I think it's clear. The borders of the stomach, the lesser curvature and the greater curvature, guys. The lesser curvature and the, yes, Aditya, very good. Chalo, back parts of the stomach. Now, the stomach has three parts, beta. Okay, the stomach has three parts, and you already know the three parts of the stomach. It is the fundus. Yes, we have the body part, and we have the pylorus part. Now we will discuss this in detail. Pyloric part or the pylorus part, right? So yes, now let me draw a diagram for you people so that it's easy for you to understand it. Okay. So yes, you already know this is the lower end of the esophagus, and there is a notch in the greater curvature towards the beginning, and that is called as the angular notch. And that is called as the angular notch. Yeah, we have the fundus part, right? We have the fundus part. Yeah, the greater curvature, and we have the lesser curvature, right? Now, this is the lower end of the esophagus, right? So this is the cardiac notch. Okay, this is the cardiac notch, right? From the cardiac notch, if I draw an imaginary line towards the greater curvature, so this part represents the fundus. This part represents the fundus. It is a horizontal line from the cardiac notch, right? Apart from that, now let us just talk in detail about the fundus first. So fundus beta, it is a dome shaped part. Okay, it is a dome shaped part. Okay, above, it is a dome shaped part. It is above the horizontal line, above the horizontal line. It is above the horizontal line. Okay, joining the cardiac orifice, joining the cardiac orifice to the greater curvature. Okay, so yes, the cardiac opening is there, and from this cardiac opening, it is going towards the greater curvature. right? So yes, now this fundus beta, two important things that you have to remember about this. One is it reaches, okay? Yes, Tokir Khan, very good beta. It reaches the level of लेफ्ट, क्योंकि बेटा ये लेफ्ट साइड हो गई, देखो ये राइट साइड है तो ये लेफ्ट साइड हो गई, और जो फंडस है वो लेफ्ट साइड की तरफ है. सो इट रीचेस द लेवल ऑफ द फिफ्थ intercostal space. Now you already know the fifth intercostal space is the place where the apex of the heart is present. Apex of heart is nearby. Okay, apex of the heart, it is nearby. So if there is any gastric pain, if there is any gastric pain, beta, this is the clinical part that you have to remember. If there is any gastric pain, it can mimic it can mimic as angina pectoris. It can mimic as angina pectoris. Okay, the pain in the heart, because if there is any gastric pain over the like the fundus region, so it is just like at the level of the fifth intercostal space where the apex of the heart is present. So sometimes no, the patient, this pain will mimic or characterize just like the pain in the heart attack, that is the angina pectoris, right? So yes, so apex of the heart is basically close to the fifth intercostal space. So that is one of the clinical point that beta you have to remember over here, right? I hope this is clear. I hope the fundus part is clear to everyone over here in the chat box. Yes, everyone like who is attending the session, it is clear. Yeah. Now, if we talk about the body part, beta. Yes, Anakala, very good, beta. Very good. Now, if we talk about the body part, yes, Dimple D, very good. Very good. Tokir, Garima, very good. Very good. Perfect. Perfect. Jayashri, perfect. Perfect, beta. So now if we talk about the body part, okay. So remember the body part. We have discussed the fundus. The second one, it is the body. So everyone is right. Everyone is right. So yeah, everyone understood. Well, well, good, good, beta. So if we talk about the body part, beta. So you are very well aware that it extends from the cardiac notch. Okay, it extends from cardiac notch to an imaginary line, to an imaginary line between the angular notch, between the angular notch to a corresponding bulge on the greater curvature. Now, when I say angular notch, beta, you already know we have a notch present on the lesser curvature, okay, towards the end, and this notch, it is called as the angular notch, or I can just simply say, yeah, this is the angular notch or incisura angularis. Incisura angularis. Notes will be updated, beta. Notes will be updated. No need to worry, right? No need to worry about the notes. It will be like sent to you via Telegram channel or something. Yeah, it's already posted. Yeah. So from the angular notes, beta, an imaginary line towards the greater curvature. Okay, towards the greater curvature, the lower end of the greater curvature, till from the cardiac notch to the angular notch, and from the angular notch the line is extending towards the greater curvature, and this in between part, beta, this in between part, it is called as the body of the stomach. Okay, this is called as the body of the stomach. Anatomical demarcations are very well like you have to know where exactly what, till what region you will call the body, what is the fundus part and all. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Yeah, I hope this is clear to everyone. So yes, this is the body part. Sure, very good. Sure. Now, coming on to the next, that is the pyloric portion, beta. Coming on to the next, that is the pyloric portion. Okay, pyloric portion. Okay. Now, pyloric portion, it is distal to the imaginary line. Now, if this is the imaginary line, beta, if this is the imaginary line, now this pyloric portion, it is distal to the imaginary line and it is consisting of three parts. Okay, it is consisting of three parts. Now, let me just draw it over here. You just continue in the same diagram, guys. So yes, we have the pyloric antrum. Okay, we have the pyloric antrum part. So this is pyloric antrum. Okay, that is the dilated part below the body. It is the dilated part below body. It is the dilated part below the body, right? Below the pyloric antrum, we have a canal, and that canal, it is called as the pyloric canal. Okay, so yeah, so this is the canal part. I can just highlight it with a different color. So yes, pyloric canal. So yes, this is the pyloric canal. It is just below the pyloric antrum. Yeah, this is the pyloric canal. Pyloric canal. Yeah. Remember, beta, this pyloric canal, it is 2.5 centimeter in length. It is 2.5 centimeter in length. And in the distal part of distal end of the stomach, beta, in the distal end of the stomach, you will get a circular muscle region, and that is something which is called as the pyloric sphincter. Okay, so this is a circular muscle region that you will get, and that is the pyloric sphincter. So yes, if you just want to draw it, yes, it is like this. It is pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter. It is in the distal end of the stomach. Distal end of the stomach, and obviously it is the gatekeeper over here. It is in the distal end of the stomach, and remember, it is thick due to circular muscles. It is thick due to circular muscles, and this region basically contains one nerve. And can anyone tell me the name of the nerve? What it is actually? I will discuss this nerve after a little, like after a couple of minutes. But this actually contains this pyloric sphincter. Basically contains a nerve over here, and that is called as the pre-pyloric veins of Mayo. Pre-pyloric veins of Mayo. Yes, very good, Beta. It is the pre-pyloric veins of Mayo. This is again an important landmark, Beta. If you see these pre-pyloric veins of Mayo, so that will help you to distinguish if there is a pyloric sphincter that you will encounter over here. I hope this is clear to everyone. I hope the parts of the stomach is clear to everyone, right? The important condition, that is the gastric pain and the pre-pyloric veins of Mayo, that we have already discussed. Otherwise, the main three parts: fundus, body, and pylorus. Fundus, body, and pylorus. And you already know the pylorus, it is consisting of pyloric antrum, okay, pyloric canal, and pyloric sphincter. So you should know we have pyloric antrum, that is the dilated part. Yes. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat box, guys, if it is like understood to everyone. We have the pyloric canal and we have the pyloric sphincter. So I hope this is clear. Garima, Angel, very good, beta. Shah, fun mode, very good, beta. Perfect. Jayashri, perfect, beta. Hazira, Aditya, Anakala, Veer, very good. Very good. I hope this is clear. So, yes, we just try to look at the picture that is given over here. So, yeah, you can see the pyloric antrum you can see, okay? The pyloric antrum, the pyloric canal, okay? The pylorus, that is the opening, right? The pylorus, that is the opening. So I hope this is clear to everyone. So everyone can see the pyloric orifice over here. Yes, the pyloric canal we have, the pyloric antrum, pyloric canal, and then we have the pyloric sphincter. The pyloric sphincter. We have drawn the same diagram, the same diagram. Okay, and rest it will continue as the first part of the duodenum. So I hope these borders, the parts of the stomach are clear. Now coming on to the surface of the stomach. Lima, very good. Coming on to the surface of the stomach. The surface of the stomach. Okay. Yes, crack meat. All the topics will be discussed here. All the organs. Today I'm discussing stomach. Tomorrow esophagus, spleen, then pancreas, liver. Everything I will discuss in abdomen. All my previous lectures on abdomen, I have started from embryology beta, from the very basics. Embryology से पढ़ाया है, spermatogenesis से, फिर तुम्हें सिस्टमिक हाइंड गट फोर गट का डेवलपमेंट सब कुछ सिखाया है एंड देन आई एम कमिंग टू द वॉल्स ऑफ द एब्डोमिनल के ना abdomen or anterior abdominal wall, posterior abdominal wall, all the muscle, nerve, veins already done. Now coming to organ by organ. Now coming to organ by organ. So yes, everything will be discussed on daily basis at 5 p.m. So remember guys, coming on to the surfaces of the stomach. So we have two surface, that is the antero superior surface, antero superior surface. Yeah, and we have posterior inferior surface. Posterior inferior surface. Okay. Now antero superior surface, it is covered by, okay, it is completely, मैंने कल भी बताया था, it is covered by peritoneum of greater sac. It is covered by peritoneum of greater sac, right? And posterior inferior surface, it is covered by peritoneum of lesser sac. Obviously बात है, greater sac आगे है, पीछे lesser sac है. Sorry, posterior inferior surface is peritoneum of the lesser sac. Except small area to the cardiac orifice. Cardiac orifice के पास एक small area होता है where the covering of peritoneum is absent बेटा. Okay, so where the covering of the peritoneum is absent, it is called as the bare area of the stomach. Bare मतलब खाली जगह stomach. It is not covered by the peritoneum part. It is the bare area of the stomach. It is not covered by peritoneum. It is not covered by peritoneum beta, and this area it is related to, and it is related to the left crust of the diaphragm. It is related to the left crust of the diaphragm. It is related to the left crust of the diaphragm. It is not covered by the peritoneum and it is related to the left crust of the diaphragm. So yeah, you already know we have two crusts of the diaphragm. I have already discussed this in abdominal aorta, right? We have the right crust of the diaphragm and the left crust of the diaphragm. So the area which is like a small area towards the cardiac orifice, it is just covered with this the left crust of the diaphragm. It is not covered with the peritoneum, right? So yes, these are the surfaces, parts, borders, and orifice. So all the parts and external features are discussed. So all the parts and the external features are discussed. The orifice is discussed. Okay. The borders are discussed. The parts are discussed and the surfaces are discussed better. The surfaces are discussed. Now coming on to the relations of the stomach. Now coming on to the relations of the stomach. I hope अभी तक जितना कराया है till now whatever we have done it is clear to everyone beta. I hope till now whatever we have done it is clear to everyone. चलिए. चल. Shy SRK, very good. Dimple, Nitin, yes. Angel, Aditya, very good. Very good, beta. Now coming on to the relations of the stomach, beta. So the relations of the stomach, I will be discussing it in three categories. Okay. First, the very easy one, it is the peritoneal relations. It is the peritoneal relations. Then we have the visceral. Visceral का मतलब होता है internal relations. Visceral relations. Okay. And visceral relations or I will discuss about the gastric triangle and what is the importance of this gastric triangle. Yes. डिफॉल्टर, तुम्हारा मैसेज तो बहुत बढ़िया है. नाम क्या है तुम्हारा बेटा? वो भी बता दो चैट बॉक्स में. कोई दुश्मन ही हो गए मेरे जो नाम बदल कर आए हो. हम लोग मजे मजे लेने के लिए आते हैं एक आध तो मतलब कि चलो खाली बैठे हैं सर से ही मजे ले लेते हैं, है ना? तो ठीक है. हाँ. लेक्चर हॉल्स पे भी क्लासेस होंगी. उम्मीद है मुझे पूरी पूरी लेक्चर हॉल्स में भी क्लासेस होंगी बट ऑब्वियसली बेटा देखो टाइम लिमिट होता है ना. अब इतना सारा हम लोग डेली कर रहे हैं. अब तुम लोग इफ यू गाइस विल नॉट अटेंड द क्लासेस डेली बेटा तो फिर ऑब्वियसली बात है वो डिटेल में नहीं हो पाता है. फिर हम लोग उतना ही बताएंगे जितना इंपॉर्टेंट है. अभी क्या है हम लोग वी आर डिस्कसिंग फ्रॉम एंड टू एंड एवरीथिंग. आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इट क्रिस्टल क्लियर इन योर माइंड सो दैट मतलब even when you're talking about the GIT surgeries, at least you know the basic anatomy of the stomach. Okay, you know about the gastric triangle, you know about the posterior relations or the stomach bed. Okay, the stomach bed. So these are all things beta that you have to like study from end to end. और डिफॉल्टर अपना नाम बता दोगे तो मैं खुश हो जाऊंगा. रियल नेम. ठीक है. Let us discuss the peritoneal relations and you already know. Yeah. Now suppose and this time like peritoneal relations you guys will actually tell me. So this is the lesser curvature and this is the greater curvature. So when we talk about peritoneal relations, you guys are very well aware that it is the lesser omentum. Okay, the lesser omentum which is developed from the ventral mesogastrium. You already know. Okay, and it is attached on the lesser curvature, right? It is attached on the lesser curvature. So we have the lesser omentum, peritoneal relations, and it is developed from, you already know it is the ventral mesogastrium, guys, right? It is the ventral mesogastrium. Mesogastrium. So you already know if we have this anterior abdominal wall, and this is the posterior abdominal wall. Okay, so in the developing phase, it is the lesser omentum, which is developed from this ventral mesogastrium. Okay, and in the ones which are actually developed from dorsal mesogastrium, it is the greater omentum. It is the greater omentum. Okay, then we have gastrosplenic ligament. गैस्ट्रोस्पेनिक पीछे स्प्लीन डेवलप कर रहा है और मैंने बताया था इट इज द लिगामेंट इट इज अटैचिंग फ्रॉम द ग्रेटर कर्वेचर टू द स्प्लीन, राइट? So yes, we have the gastrosplenic ligament. I hope everything is clear, guys. Audio, visuals, everything is fine, I suppose. Yeah, gastrosplenic ligament, and yeah, we have the gastrophrenic ligament. Gastrophrenic ligament. Already, I have discussed this in detail. So these are the peritoneal relations of the stomach, and you already know these are all derived from, yeah, these are all derived from the dorsal mesogastrium, which I have already discussed in the embryology part. It is derived from the dorsal mesogastrium. So peritoneal relations are done. Now coming on to the visceral relations, or yeah, visceral, the internal relations. So now guys, what you have to draw, like look over here. Yeah, I hope everything is clear, beta. Yes. Now, remember guys, let us just try to understand this through a picture. So you already know we have the costal margins. Okay, we have the xiphoid process, and yes, these are the costal margins. Okay, the subcostal margins are there, and over here you already know we have on the right side. So this is the right side, and this is the left side, right? So on the right side, beta. So remember that we have the liver, right? Tending from, right? So this is the liver. So this is the liver. So this is the xiphoid process. Xiphoid process. Yes. And these are the costal margins. So you can see that these are the coastal margin. ये जो coastal cartilage होता है ना बेटा, coastal cartilage, coastal cartilage, the lowermost जो वो 10th वाली है, it is called as the coastal margin beta. Okay, so these are the coastal margins. Now, what is I have to tell about over here, that we have stomach which is present over here. So remember that the stomach, yes, yeah, or I can just draw it a little bit here so that left lobe of the liver is like occupied. Left lobe of the liver is occupied. So yes. So yes, I'll draw the liver again so that it's like more occupied over here. लिवर को ना मतलब पूरा इस तरीके से बनाना कि इट कवर्स द, या ठीक है. So yes, it is now like this. It is like more correct. So yes, this part of the stomach beta, it is related to the liver, and when I say liver, it is the left lobe of the liver. Obviously बात है ये right side है और ये left side है, so it is related to liver. And which lobe of liver? It is the left lobe of liver. Okay, and yeah, it is like more or less anterior relation, guys. Okay, more or less anterior relation, you can see in the picture as well. You can see in the picture as well. So it is, yeah, right half of the left lobe of the liver, it is okay. Sure. Apart from that, guys, you have to remember that there is like this is the coastal margins, right? And below the coastal margin, a triangular space is present. Okay, yeah, where nothing is like related on. So yes, this triangular space, like below the coastal margin, which you can see over here, and this is the area which is called as the gastric triangle. Okay, this is called as the gastric triangle. Now, when I say gastric triangle, beta, it is area of stomach in contact with the anterior abdominal wall, in contact with the anterior abdominal wall, anterior abdominal wall. Now, can anyone tell me? Okay, we have the right side of the gastric triangle, the left side of the gastric triangle, and the below surface. So everyone in the chat box will tell me the right side it is made from which part, the left side it is made from which part, and the yeah, and the below part it is made from which part. So yeah, the gastric triangle इनकी boundaries बता दो, जल्दी से boundaries बता दो. Yes, the right side it is made from which part बेटा, जल्दी से बताओ chat box में. The right side it is made from the lower border of the liver, okay, or the inferior border of the liver. Yes, the lower border of the liver. Okay, now the left side it is formed from the left coastal margin, and below beta, below you should know it is the transverse colon. Okay, below you will have the transverse colon, transverse colon. ये थोड़ा सा बड़ा वाला आने ना, so that you can like have an idea कि below transverse colon भी आ रहा है. So yes, just draw it a little big. ठीक है. Hmm. So I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear to everyone. Chali, I hope the gastric relations are clear to everyone. The gastric relations are, I mean, the gastric triangle and the visceral relations are clear. And yeah, anterior relations of the fundus part is clear, I suppose. Okay. And some part of this part, it is actually connected to, yeah, this part, if you say, this part of the stomach, it is like more connected to the dome of the diaphragm. Okay. So yes, it is connected to the dome of the diaphragm. Chalo, Anakala, Dimple, Hazira, very good. Angel, Vicky, Krispa, very good, beta. Very good. Veer, very good, beta. So I hope the visceral relations are clear. Peritoneal done, visceral done. Coming on to the posterior relations, guys. Coming on to the posterior relations of the stomach or the stomach bed. So you guys are very well aware that you have to remember this with the help of a mnemonic. Okay, let us first understand what is like okay. Now when I say posterior relation मतलब stomach के पीछे क्या क्या present है. Okay, so that is a structure which is called as the stomach bed. Okay, the stomach bed जिसको बोलते हैं हम लोग. So when I say stomach bed बेटा, remember it is a shallow fossa. It is a shallow fossa upon which the stomach, okay, the posterior inferior surface, is most likely the posterior inferior surface, rest in recumbent supine position. So it is a shallow fossa upon which the stomach, that is the posterior inferior surface, rests in the recumbent supine position. Yes। लैग आ रहा है। किस वजह से लैग आ रहा है? ओके, मुझे बेटा फटाफट से बता दो कि इज इट लाइक क्लियर? ऑडियो विजुअल्स आर फाइन बेटा, फटाफट से बताओ तो ही काम चलेगा। From my end, the internet is like perfectly fine, beta. So yeah, just let me know what is happening from your ends. Just a moment, let me like finalize. Hello.